spooky. Mmm. Look, it's the Enterprise. Yes, just beyond that enormous sleeping dragon. The dragon is not our concern. We have come for the airship, and only the airship. Sid, you and I will sneak aboard the Enterprise and prepare it for launch. Elder, you stay here and keep an eye on the beast. If it wakes, we may need you to provide a distraction until we are ready to depart. You can manage that, can't you? Floopsy. That settles it, then. Shall we, Sid? As you command. Achoo! Oh, shit. Mm-hmm. Oh. So you mean to slay Garuda next? Interesting. Most interesting. Oh, not you. And you are aware that her strength greatly exceeds that of your previous primal conquests, a testament to the fanatical devotion of her followers. The Ixal are nothing if not zealous. In spite of your past achievements, I labor to believe that you will best this foe. Yet only a fool would underestimate the great bringer of light, slayer of Ifrit, bane of Titan. If any mortal is capable of defeating the Lady of the Vortex, it is you. Win or lose, the battle should at least make for an entertaining spectacle, assuming, of course, you live that long. Oh no, he's giving that dragon a purple. Alphino, the dragon! Confound it all! Yep. Floopsy would say he's surprised, but he's not. Let us see how well your blasphemous gifts serve you this time, Crystal Bearer. Okie dokie. Floopsy gonna slay the dragon. 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 You're not allowed to cheer, you're dead. Hmm? Hmm. Hmm? Ooh. This will make a fine addition to my collection. Elder! Elder! Are you all right? Speak to me. Hmm? Hmm. 12 be praised. I feared the beast had injured you. I see now why the others rated you so highly. When you were caught in the midst of that etheric bubble with the dragon, I was all but certain my next mission would be to find a new champion. Thank the gods for sparing me that inconvenience. I have quite enough to do already. Which reminds me, Sid is working on the Enterprise as we speak. Let's go and see what he has to say. What say you, Sid? Will she fly? Yes, though it will not be a pleasant ride. Well, I dare say it will be no more unpleasant than staying here. 'Tis a pity the Enterprise is not in a better shape, but if you will allow us to quit this place, I shall not complain. If all are in agreement, let us return to Gridania. Though I would like nothing more than to set course for the Howling Eye, it is plain that the Enterprise is in no condition to weather the storm. She must needs be repaired if we are to proceed with our mission. Power. This is all so familiar. I know this airship. If I could just... Fist. Ah, it's no use. Floopsy believes in you. Let's go. Oh! Ah, how I long for the more agreeable climate of the Twelveswood. Yet I'll not deny that Holy See had its charms. Endless detours aside, our Ishgardian jaunt proved quite an adventure. Alas, our work is far from done. We still have an airship to repair and a primal to slay. No rest for the heroic, eh? Sid. It calms me to look at her. It is as though I've been reunited with a part of me I never knew was missing. Hardly surprising, you did design and build her. I bear good news. The Seed Seers have granted our request to house the Enterprise. We may take as long as we require to repair her. Of course, it would be rank folly to take one moment more than we require. Garuda, lest we forget, grows stronger by the hour. If we are to have any hope of wresting this benighted realm from her talons, it must needs be soon. Though I'm no expert on the workings of airships, it seems plain to me that the Enterprise suffered much from her time in the wilderness. Am I not correct, Sid? You are. Frankly, it's a miracle she carried us this far. As you know, the Howling Eye is encircled by a raging tempest, apt to turn proud trees to matchwood. Our battle will end before it begins if the Enterprise cannot weather the storm. Given time, I believe I can fully repair her. But if this tempest is as fearsome as you say, even that may not be enough. Confound it, there must be a way to brave the fury of the elements. The elements? Of course, that's it. We work upon the element itself. Using the power of a corrupted crystal, we could clear a path through the storm and spare the Enterprise a battering. I see. You propose to use the properties of a crystal to alter the elemental aspect of the barrier. Seems so childishly simple in retrospect. Though mayhap not to you, Elder, we speak of the manifestations of over-aspected aether that can only be found throughout Eorzea. Since the calamity disrupted the land's etheric currents, such crystals have become comparatively commonplace. Which has been a cause of great woe, as they are known to warp etheric energies, including those of living organisms. The point is, we could theoretically use a corrupted crystal to convert the wind-aspected ether compromising Garuda's barrier into ether of another aspect, one she cannot control. With certain modifications, the Enterprise should be able to deliver us to the Howling Eye in comfort, however hard Garuda blows. But we are getting ahead of ourselves. All of this rests upon our abilities to procure a crystal with the necessary properties. Have you any idea where we might acquire one? No, but I know a man who might. A scholar by the name of Lambertaint, who resides in Camp Drybone. Strange as it may sound, I met him during my time at the church. Well, Marcus met him, I suppose. Well, whether out of pity or for want of a more willing listener, he would talk to me for hours at a time about his etheric studies, corrupted crystals being his pet subject. It was a result of these conversations that poor Marcus was observed to possess an uncommon knack for theoretical science. Elder, I need you to return to Thanalan and seek out this scholar. Sid and I will set about repairing the Enterprise in your absence. Floopsy can do it. Nugget, are you ready? Good. Spud? Marvelous. Mr. Lambertaint? Ah, yes, I am Professor Lambertaint. Beg your pardon? You wish to hear about my research on corrupted crystals? Truly! Well, nothing would give me greater pleasure than to discuss my work with a fellow man of science. Ah, so rare it is to find fellow intellectuals in this region. 'Tis even rarer to find one capable of comprehending the nature of corrupted crystals. Come to think of it, there was another, a hermit to whom the church had given sanctuary. Curious fellow, unsociable, rather daft at first impression, yet possessed of an amazing affinity toward the scientific pursuits. But to the matter at hand, did you say you wish not to conduct field observations, but to harvest a corrupted crystal? Egads, man! At least take the necessary precautions so that you do not suffer from exposure to its harmful energies. I'm beginning to wonder if you've sufficient qualifications to handle such hazardous materials. Still, your ignorance is somehow endearing. Luckily for you, I have precisely the means by which these inherent dangers may be averted. Simply store the crystal you seek within this warded pot to protect yourself from its deleterious effects. Though I suppose you will be bombarded with its energies until you place it within the vessel. Well, perhaps it shall motivate you to work quickly. In any case, take the pot to Hahasako, a student of mine monitoring the flow of ether at Highbridge. Explain to him your quest, and he shall instruct you in the finer points of crystal harvesting.
Alrighty.
I bet this is gonna be simple. We're gonna go talk to this one dude, get a crystal, and that's gonna be it. We're not gonna have to repeat this task like 3 or 4 times. Definitely not. Haha, Sako! How many times must I be made to explain myself? I am not contemplating suicide, you imbecile! I have chosen this precise position to perform scientific measurements.
We got a pot for you, Mr. Hahasako.
What have we here? A containment vessel? Why, this is the handiwork of Professor Lambertaint. You thieving knave, I shall call for the... Oh, you say the man himself lent it to you? Then you must have sought me out per his instruction, which means he believes me experienced enough to expound upon his explanations. At last, the recognition I so rightfully deserve. We're just hoping you can tell us where to find the crystal, man. Oh, frabjous day, Kaloo-Kalay! That I should be chosen to guide this man. Yes, I, Hahasako, greatest of Professor Lambertaint's pupils, shall see that you successfully quarry your quarry. Your timing is impeccable. In fact, for I was just preparing to procure corrupted crystals from the burning wall for my personal research. There, the devastating destruction caused by the calamity has blessed us with a bounty of sublime specimens. But something tells me that naught but a perfect peace will satisfy your high standards, in which case you must needs descend into the deepest depths. Amidst the flowing waters and the murderous Mirror-Knights lies the most fantastic formation I found thus far. Take this highly advanced researcher's tool, and use it to separate a small fragment from the larger cluster. Place it within the warded pot and bear it back to me for inspection. The path which leads from Burgundy Falls to the base of the burning wall is treacherous and terrifying, but advance with appropriate caution and you shall surely survive. Floopsy does no cautions. Floopsy proceeds with reckless abandon. Alright.
Honk. Pot.
What do you think, Nugget? The radiation is tingly. Haha, Sako! I see you've come galumphing back. Have you the crystal then? There you are. What a prodigiously large and lovely crystal! Professor Lambertaint will doubtless chortle with joy when you present it to him in person. Oh, and upon your return, do remember to recount how helpful I was with your harvesting. Lambertaint? My keen scholar's senses tell me that you obtained a corrupted crystal. Am I right? Maybe. If you would grant me a moment to examine the crystal. It is as you desired, a corrupted crystal overflowing with wind-aspected ether. Remind me, for what purpose did you intend to use this crystal again? What? To breach a barrier comprised of wind-aspected ether? Oh dear, that may prove problematic. as this crystal would only serve to strengthen that barrier. I suppose I'm at fault for not inquiring as to your objectives from the start. Had I known your intent, I would have never sent you to Hahasako. But what is science if not trial and error? And can you truly say that this is failure has taught you nothing? Yes, Floopsy learns nothing from this. Think, man. You now understand the methods necessary to safely collect a corrupted crystal. You would doubtless have no difficulty doing so once more. What's more, the crystal you collected can serve as an invaluable resource for the ethereal studies conducted by the students of Baldesian. You've heard of them? Well, I don't mean to boast, but I've a professional relationship with the organization. Not as equals, of course. I would never be so bold as to claim that level of expertise. Are you all right? Your eyes seem to have glazed over for a moment. Anyway, I shan't keep you from your task. You've still a corrupted crystal to find. Oh dear. This is the last time we're going to need to do this, right? Corrupted crystals of sufficient size and strength are not all that common, I fear. Fortunately, one of my students, Siana, claims to have discovered another promising site in Eastern Lanesca. Wait, that's not correct. Eastern Lanesca was where she was nearly killed when wandering too close to an Imperial castrum. Now that made for an amusing anecdote. Floopsy believes you might be a psychopath. It was Western Lanesca, Ferrosirius, on the Isle of Umbra to be precise. I can't recall her exact reasoning, something to do with one of Dalamid's talons or some such nonsense. What I can say for certain is that she is still in Aleport attempting to gain access to the Isles. Why not travel there and see if Siana inquiries bear fruit? If you can look past the crass and violent ways of the local pirates, you might find your time there to be quite pleasurable. Oh, and do not forget to take your makeshift warded pot, lest she think you unprepared for the task. Makeshift? Is this a discounted protection thing? Floopsy is here for your knowledge of the crystals! Eh? Corrupted crystals? Sir, I have no interest in being the butt of your jokes, so if you've no other reason for addressing me, kindly leave me be. Floopsy is no jester. Well, I'll be damned. Professor Lambertaint did send you. Beg your pardon, it seems we got off on the wrong foot. I'm Sienna, greatest of the professor's pupils. Hahasako said that. Lambertaint has two greatest pupils. Which is doubtless why he bids you seek me out. Indeed, I'm an accomplished scholar with an excessive background in yawn. Oh, gods, just listen to me prattle on and on. I must have given this introduction a dozen times by now. As I told the professor in my many missives, I believe that the area surrounding Ferrosirius is replete with corrupted crystals of exceptional strength. Unfortunately, I have yet to test my hypothesis, as all access to the Isle of Umbra is prohibited at present, for reasons unknown to me. You see, my attempts to acquire this information are often met with annoyance and disdain. It's rather puzzling, since I always take the time to explain my motivations in great detail to the subjects of my questioning. Mayhap you will have better luck wresting information from these yellow jackets. I've all but given up at this point. Perhaps if asked nicely and not drone on about things no one cares about? Oh. K'anib. You startled me. Don't you know better than to sneak up on a person at a time like this? What with all this fatuous gossip of spirits and specters haunting the Isles of Umbra? Just because I know it's nonsense doesn't make it any less frightening. Oh. There are spookies on the island? Fergman. You're keen on traveling to the Isles of Umbra? Bloody hell, lad, are you drunk or just crazy? Ain't nothing there but death. Death and more death. Floopsy likes death. Would you tell Floopsy how to get to the Isle of Dead People? The Isles of Umbra? What interest have you in that god's forsaken place? Ever since we were forced to abandon Pharaoh Sirius, the Isles have become not more than a graveyard for ships unable to navigate the shores, and a purgatory for the souls dragged down to the depths with them. Apparently they're spookies. Elder, you've returned. Tell me of your findings. Really? Invested with the undead, you say? That is a very, very interesting development. Excuse me for a moment while I gather my thoughts. Worry not, my friend. I've given your findings some thought, and I've concluded that this talk of spirits is not more than local folklore. As for why all travels to the Isle of Umbra is restricted, well, mayhaps it's considered too dangerous, owing to the abandonment of Pharaoh Sirius? Yes, well, anyway, while you were questioning those yellow jackets, I paid a visit to the local pub, since even an esteemed scholar like myself enjoys dulling her wits on occasion. It was there that I heard tell of a man named Skifrin, who was recently detained after returning from, wait for it, the Isle of Umbra. This is the first I've heard of someone actually traveling to and from there, so I'm curious as to how he obtained permission. Mind having a chat with him in my stead? He was arrested after all, and so I'm somewhat reticent to approach him myself. Will Floopsy have to get arrested to speak with him? Time for Floopsy to commit crimes! You man in jail. I have to go back. She calls to me, sings to me. Tell Mimi Doa I'm sorry. Give him this. He was right. Or you could release me? Yes, release me. I will go and tell her. Let me go to her. This guy is under some sort of hypnotic spell? Interesting. Well, the arrested man appears to be crazy. What does Skifrin have to say? That's not terribly helpful. I couldn't care less how much he misses his favorite bar wench, but what was that about a man named Mimi Doa? Wait, I know that name. That's that bastard who grabbed my arse the other day at the pub. Well, if you want to give him that feather, be my guest. I'm not going anywhere near him as his wandering hands. Perhaps Floopsy should kick the ass of this Mimi Doa? You, ass grabber! Explain yourself! Another initiate, are ye? No? Then what are you? Speak up, son, I can't hear you! Golden feather. This brilliant feather reflects light as if it were actually made of gold. Hey! Bugger me! Is this what I think it is? No, it couldn't be. You found this, you say? Where'd you say you found it? Skifrin, you say? Was hoping to have a word with the lad, but it sounds like there's naught left twixt his ears. He was supposed to help patch up Pharaoh Sirius, he was. Company sent me to supervise the lot of 'em. We're getting work done on their own, see? Half of 'em walked off, half of 'em ran off, and half of 'em up and vanished. That's 3 halves. What's that? You be looking for passage to the Isles of Umbra? Why didn't you say so? I've been thinking of dispatching someone to take a look on behalf of the old Mimi Doa. Tell him how the land lies. Ain't nobody been interested till you came a-calling. Whole port's up in arms about spirits and so forth. If I had the gill, I'd hire some sellswords and let 'em sort it out. But you'll do in a pinch, you will. Show this parchment to the skipper and he'll see you there and back. The ass-grabber has presented Floopsy with a parchment. So, you went and had a word with Mimi Doa? I hope the valuable time you saw fit to waste amounted to something. Parchment. You mean that disgusting creature was Skifrin's superior? I find that hard to believe. But this writ of passage does appear to be genuine, so must be true. I must say it is a relief to work with such an industrious man as you. I look forward to hearing of the discoveries you will make on the Isles of Umbra without me. Hmm? Fine, fine. I fail to see the justification for dragging me along on your journey, but if you insist, I will go as well. By the... We didn't need to hear that last line. No worries. You, sir, you will take us to the spooky place? Take me to the Isle of Umbra, he bids, as if it's that simple. Oh, I see you've got a writ of passage. All right, then, climb aboard.